And Putin, your turn is coming. You know, Donald Trump is the Scotty Scheffler of American politics and foreign diplomacy, and he's about to put a whooping on your ass. What's going to happen here is that Trump is going to impose tariffs on people that buy Russian oil. China, India, and Brazil, those three countries buy about 80% of cheap Russian oil. That's what keeps Putin's war machine going. So President Trump's going to put a 100% tariff on all those countries, punishing them for helping Putin. Putin can live through sanctions. He could give a damn about Russian soldiers. But China, India, and Brazil, they're about to face a choice between the American economy or helping Putin. And I think they're going to come pick the American economy.
This is my video update on this Monday midday, July the 21st, coming to you from Limassol, Cyprus. No, coming to you from Moscow. It is raining this Monday midday, and we need to talk about some news. So, should we start with Lindsey Graham? Lindsey Graham, once again, is talking smack. He is talking about Putin and how Putin is going to get an ass whooping. Lindsey Graham talking about Putin getting an ass whooping. He's saying that Putin needs to come to the table and how tariffs will be weaponized against China, India, and Brazil. Interesting. BRICS is what Lindsey Graham is talking about. Trump weaponizing tariffs against BRICS, and this will destroy Putin's war machine if these tariffs are placed on China, India, and Brazil, because they will have a choice either to continue trading with Russia or to lose the U.S. market. And Lindsey Graham believes that they will stop trading with Russia because they do not want to lose the U.S. market.
But here's what I would tell China, India, and Brazil. If you keep buying cheap Russian oil to allow this war to continue, we're going to tariff the hell out of you, and we're going to crush your economy, because what you're doing is blood money. You're buying cheap Russian oil at the expense of the world, and President Trump is tired of this game. If I were President Putin, I would get to the table soon, because he's about to get crushed.
Blunt and plain spoken as ever.
So that is the warning that Lindsey Graham made to Trey Gowdy of Fox News, who was kind of laughing as Lindsey Graham was talking his tough game. Not sure if Trey Gowdy was laughing at Lindsey Graham or if he was happy about all the warmongering. Hard to tell. But Lindsey Graham said that Trump is the Scotty Scheffler. I think Scotty Scheffler is the golf star who is winning all of the major events in golf. So that is what Lindsey Graham said. I wish I could pull out my phone so I could read you some of his quotes, but I've only got two hands. So if I'm making any mistakes in my reporting, I apologize. But that's Graham, and he's talking about BRICS. Graham is talking about BRICS, and I think now it is very clear who is whispering all of this BRICS nonsense to Trump, as I was talking about in my video update yesterday, where Trump was threatening BRICS with tariffs and saying that BRICS is fading fast and it's a small group, and don't you dare mess around with the U.S. reserve currency status. This is all coming from Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham is running the U.S. foreign policy, and Lindsey Graham is telling Trump all kinds of nonsense about foreign policy and about the threat of BRICS, which is a threat that the U.S. has brought onto itself by weaponizing everything. And now they are openly weaponizing tariffs. I mean, Lindsey Graham and Trump, they are using tariffs as another tool in the same way that they use sanctions in order to threaten countries and bully countries and punish countries. So that's Lindsey Graham's threat to China, Brazil, and India. You have a choice. Either drop Russia or you lose the US market. What say you, people of Brazil, India, and China? Are you worried about Lindsey Graham's threats? Anyway, let me know in the comments down below. And that brings us to the next story, which is the freaky German general. I believe this guy is a general, Mr. Freuding. Yes, Mr. Freuding. I am recording. Everything is all right. Trying to keep the camera out of the rain. And Freuding. Freuding. Anyway, this German robot android, spooky, scary general or major general or whatever he is that's in charge of Ukraine for Germany. He was giving an interview, and he said that Russia is about to launch 2,000 drones a day into Ukraine. 2,000 a day is what he said. I don't know about 2,000 a day, but definitely 1,000 a day could be coming. But that was his warning. And then he was asked by the interviewer for some advice that he would give to Kiev. And what did this general say? He said airstrikes, deep airstrikes into Russia, target the airfields, target military facilities. This is the same general, by the way, who I talked about in my video last time I was stuck in the rain in Moscow, actually. And he's the general that was saying that by the end of July, Ukraine will have a lot of long-range missiles delivered to it, which was some sort of joint manufacturing project between Germany and Ukraine. Just don't call those tourist missiles, just don't call those long-range missiles tourist missiles. Check out the ducks. These are new missiles manufactured by Ukraine and Germany. We're talking about this general. And so he's hinting at long-range missile strikes coming soon. That's why he was asked, what advice would you give Ukraine? And his advice was long-range missile strikes deep into Russia. And obviously, he's talking about the long-range missiles, but not tourist missiles. Not tourist missiles. Newly branded, newly produced German Ukraine missiles. Ukraine missiles that Germany is going to deliver to Ukraine, right? We're supposed to believe that narrative. This is some joint venture where Ukraine is producing the missiles and Germany's funding the production of those missiles. But for some weird reason, Germany has to deliver the Ukraine-produced missiles to Ukraine. Yeah, okay. Major General or General Spooky, Scary, Freuding, whoever you are. Man, that guy is scary, man. He is freaky, that guy. Anyway, yeah, that's what he said. And that brings us to the very large missile strike, drone and missile strike that Russia launched into Ukraine yesterday. Kiev was smashed. The video that I've seen and the photos that I've seen on the interwebs show Kiev that was hit very hard by Iran drones and then by, I believe, Kinzhal missiles. The Ukraine military claims that they shot down, I don't have the number. I wish I could read you the number. I'll put it up on the screen. But I believe it said that Russia launched 434 drones into Ukraine, and 26 drones were shot down by Ukraine air defense, by the Ukraine military, which is nonsense. I don't think anyone is believing any of this anymore, because the photos and the videos that are all over the interwebs just show a Kiev that was completely smashed by this strike. And not only Kiev, we're talking about Kharkiv, we're talking about the west of Ukraine. It looks like whatever targets Russia was aiming for, they had no problem hitting these targets, because, as we know, Ukraine has no more air defense. I mean, we all know that. So the Ukraine Ministry of Defense continues to peddle this fiction that they're able to take down something like 95 or 98% of the Russian drones and missiles, which is nonsense. But Ukraine also launched 73 drones into the Russian Federation, about 13 of those heading towards Moscow. They were knocked down. Drones also went towards, I believe, Belgorod, Bryansk, Rostov, and they did do some damage. I don't know if the drones actually hit their targets or if they were shot down, and then they landed on apartment buildings and other infrastructure. But Ukraine continues to send drones towards Russia, which was, I don't think this is a surprise. It was expected. Whenever you have a Western leader going to Kiev, like Keith Kellogg spending a week in Kiev, you're going to get these types of attacks into Russia. 5 days in a row that Ukraine has been sending drones into the Russian Federation, and it looks like yesterday we got Russia's response to all of this, which was a very heavy attack into Kiev. The Ducks love it, man. This is their weather. So that's an update there. And I'm trying to think, do I have any more stories with Project Ukraine? It looks like we are going to be getting a third round of talks between Russia and Ukraine in Istanbul, most likely either the end of this week or next week. It hasn't been 100% confirmed, but it does look like we will be getting some sort of negotiation, third round of negotiation and talks taking place. Zelensky is in a panic to get some talks going, to try and see if Russia will agree to the Kellogg ceasefire plan, which is just nonsense. Zelensky's just trying to buy some time and remove some pressure that he is getting from the Trump administration, which wants to go on with the fiction that it is moderating some sort of a peace negotiation in Ukraine. PR and media optics. That's what's going on here. And we have another article from a huge Zelensky media supporter, Deutsche Welle, the German English language propaganda outlet. They are asking the question, and I don't remember the title of this article, but I'll put it up on the screen. They are asking the question, why is Ukraine mobilizing mentally ill people? Why are they mobilizing older people? Why is this happening? This is the question that they're asking now, all of a sudden. Even though this has been going on for quite some time now, we are seeing Deutsche Welle ask the question, why? Why is Ukraine mobilizing these men and sending them to the front lines? Yesterday, I talked about how the Financial Times put out an article about how Zelensky is an authoritarian dictator. And we had the Spectator running an article saying that everyone's tired of the Green Goblin. And now you have the German outlet, Deutsche Welle, talking about Ukraine mobilizing old people, mentally ill people, disabled people, and they just can't figure out what is going on. They can't figure it out. They don't understand why the Zelensky regime is doing this. Anyway, that is everything for Project Ukraine. Pokrovsk on the front lines. Pokrovsk is almost encircled from what I understand, or very close to encirclement. It's going to be a difficult fight in Pokrovsk. This will be something along the lines of Avdiivka, I imagine. It'll take a couple of months. That would be my guess, because the Ukraine military is very dug in to Pokrovsk. And they have sent so many soldiers, reinforcements into Pokrovsk, because they do not want to lose this very strategic logistics hub. So it's going to take, I believe it'll take some time, but eventually Russia will capture Pokrovsk, and that will be a significant defeat for Ukraine. But it does look like the city of Pokrovsk, this settlement, this town, is almost encircled. So let's shift gears and let's talk about Tulsi Gabbard, who told Maria Bartiromo, she said that there will be more Russiagate documents to be released. This is what she told Maria Bartiromo. More Russiagate is coming. And she also said that she can't figure out why Durham and Mueller, when they were investigating Russiagate, remember Durham? The invisible investigator, the invisible lawyer, prosecutor, whatever. He never showed himself, ever. A man of mystery. But remember how he was investigating the Russiagate hoax and nothing came out of it? And then, of course, you had the Mueller debacle. Tulsi Gabbard is asking why they never saw the emails and the communication from the Obama White House that she published the other day. I wonder why. I wonder why they did not see all of the communication and documents from Obama, allegedly from Obama to his team, telling them to construct some sort of a Trump Russia election meddling narrative. They just missed those documents. Damn it, Mueller. Damn it, Durham. You guys just did not do a good job. Anyway, her conclusion, by the way, Tulsi Gabbard's conclusion, obviously, is that they deliberately did not want to find those documents or publish those documents or talk about those documents. They knew they were there, but they just kind of overlooked them. They were just buying time. They were just wasting time and buying time until Trump's term ran out. And then they could have the 2020 elections, and we got Joe Bidenopoulos as president. That was the purpose of Durham. Mueller was a mess, but Durham was there to run out the clock. Anyway, that is Tulsi Gabbard. And what else? Oh, Trump posted on Truth Social for everyone to watch Mark Levin yesterday on Fox News. And the reason that he posted this is because Mark Levin was speaking to Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House. And Mark Levin said for everybody to forget about Epstein. Let's just focus on Russiagate. Russiagate. Forget about the whole Epstein thing. Damn it. Yeah. It's not going to work, U.S. President Trump. You can do both, you know. You can investigate Russiagate from 2016, and you can also release the Epstein documents. You know, you can do both. You are the president of the United States. You don't have to focus on one. You can multitask. Anyway, that That is what Trump posted. He's desperate to try and take away the attention from Epstein and to get it focused completely on Russiagate, which I'm interested in. Russiagate. I like to see the documents which now confirm our reporting on the Duran. Absolutely. I mean, we knew all of this stuff, but it's interesting to see the actual documentation and the communication confirming everything that all of us knew with regards to Russiagate. But let's get the Epstein stuff, man. Come on. Stop trying to gaslight us. Stop trying to distract us and fool us. Epstein, let's see the documents released. All of the documents, all of the evidence. Anyway, let's do some more news before we get to a clown world. What do you guys say? I think we can do some more news before we get to a clown world. And why did I come up here? I don't know why I walked up here. Anyway, what else? Did you guys see Tucker Carlson's interview with Bild? The Bild journalist. I believe he's like editor or deputy editor. Anyway, you watch that interview, and you can understand why Bild, as a German publication, is so delusional. you just listen to that editor and watch his face as Tucker Carlson drops all kinds of truth bombs on him. You can see his reaction. He's struggling, man. He is struggling to comprehend everything that Tucker was telling him. That is, I wonder if my mic is, yeah, I wanted to keep it out of the rain, but hopefully the sound is all right. Yeah, you can see that he's struggling from decades and decades of propaganda. He's struggling to comprehend everything that Tucker Carlson was telling him. That's decades and decades of propaganda and brainwashing. And you can see it in the Bild deputy editor or editor as he's reacting to everything that Tucker was telling him. Tucker was telling him that Russia's won this thing. It's not even up for debate. He said that the victor dictates the terms. And the Bild reporter was like, huh? What are you talking about? The victor dictates the terms. What? Yeah, he said that Germany is focused on hating Putin when you should be focused on your own leaders because they're wrecking your country. Putin isn't wrecking your country. Your leaders are wrecking your country, and they're distracting you away from the wreckage of your country by focusing on Putin. And what else did he say? He said that the U.S. really doesn't have any options to counter Russia. There are no options left. Russia's winning this thing. He said that Putin is doing a great job for his country. He said, I'm not a supporter of Putin or Russia, but let's be honest, Putin is doing a great job. The economy is growing. It's not a gas station masquerading as not a gas station masquerading as a country. Actually, I think Tucker said the perception in D.C. was that Russia was a gas station masquerading as a nuclear power or something like that, or that the economy was a gas station that was a nuclear power. That's what he said, that many of the people in Congress believed of Russia, and they completely miscalculated because Russia does have a very big, robust economy and very powerful manufacturing sector. Actually, did you guys see the video that the Russian government put out? The Ministry of Defense put out a video on one of their drone factories. Pretty impressive. Manufacturing the Get-On drones. A lot of people talking about that video that they put out. That's a message from Russia. Why else would the Ministry of Defense put out that video? That's a message to Ukraine, to the collective West. You guys better agree to Istanbul Plus, or else maybe we're going to see 2,000 drones a day. We're definitely going to see 1,000 drones a day. That's going to happen, I believe. Anyway, yeah, that was an interesting interview. from Build. Not that anything new was said. It's just it gives you some insight into understanding and realizing how brainwashed and propagandized the German elite are. I mean the deputy editor for Bild really believed that Zelensky is Churchill and really believes that Russia is evil and that Russia's going to invade Berlin. And he said Russia's going to take Berlin and Dresden and Estonia and Latvia. And Tucker Carlson was like, man, you're delusional. Tucker Carlson was looking at the guy like, man, you are propagandized. Like really propagandized. Tucker's telling him, is it really worth nuclear war? Believing all this nonsense, is it really worth continuing to poke the bear and threatening nuclear war? And the Bild reporter was almost hinting that, yeah, continuing to poke the bear is worth nuclear war. That was pretty much his response. That's how it seemed. But the best part of the interview, just so I can wrap up this segment, was when Tucker asked him about Nord Stream, and the Bild reporter could not respond. Tucker is asking him, well, who blew up Nord Stream? And the Bild reporter was like, let's go on to the next question. And then Tucker's like, well, who blew up Nord Stream? And the Bild reporter's like, I don't know. You think it was the United States, but German intel says it was Ukraine. You know, Tucker didn't ask the critical follow-up question, which was when the German Bild reporter said that it looks like Ukraine blew up Nord Stream. Tucker should have asked the question, well, isn't that an attack on German infrastructure? And wouldn't that be in Article 5? And wouldn't that mean that NATO would have to go to war with Ukraine? That's what Tucker should have asked him, but he didn't get that follow-up in there. It didn't click for him. It happens. Anyway, that was the interview with the Bild reporter. What else before we get to a clown world? Japan had elections in the parliament, and it saw the leading coalition party, the leading political party, the LDP, and this coalition. So this is a coalition that they had to put together in order to stay in government. They lost. Well, they didn't get a majority. I don't want to say they lost, but they did not secure a majority. And we're talking about the entire coalition, just not one party. They were not able to get the 50 seats that were required to get a majority. They got something like 47 seats. And so they're stuck, man. The prime minister said that he's not stepping down. He believes that he has to stay on as prime minister in order to get a tariff deal with Trump. But basically, the Japanese people are tired of the direction that their government is taking them. High inflation, as well as migration. These are issues now in Japan. And so the coalition suffered a big, shocking defeat. Once again, the LDP and the coalition, not just the major big ruling party. We're talking about the entire coalition cannot get a majority in Japan. So that was big news. And I know I have one more story before Clown World. Or at least I think I have one more story that I had lined up. Let me see if I can. One sec. 1 second. Oh, let's see here. Scotty Scheffler. That's the golfer that Lindsey Graham compared Trump to. Scotty Scheffler. What else? Yeah, Deutsche Welle. Why are mentally ill soldiers being drafted in Ukraine? I wonder why. Tulsi Gabbard cannot fathom how Durham and Mueller missed evidence of a years-long coup against Trump. Yes. I was going to talk about this story. I almost forgot about this story. This is an important one. So the Times of the UK, the Sunday Times, actually, now that I've got a little bit of cover here, the Sunday Times, they put out an article with the title, China's influence over Russia could yet change the war in Ukraine, but the president has bigger goals in mind. The Sunday Times article is Xi, not Putin, has the most power. Xi, not Trump, sorry. Xi, not Trump, has the most power over Putin. Will he use it? So basically, the Sunday Times article is claiming that China wants to keep the war going in Ukraine because it benefits them. Xi is in no hurry to see the Ukraine war end, as well as diverting Western resources and attention. It makes Moscow more and more dependent on Beijing. That's basically the summary of this article. It claims that China is keeping the war going deliberately. It could end the war by putting pressure on Putin. It could probably end the war by manufacturing millions and millions of drones for Russia as well. I mean, you can look at it from both sides, but in this article, they're basically saying that if China wanted to end the war, it could put pressure on Putin and it could end the war. They don't take it from the other side, though. But anyway, it's saying that China is keeping the war going deliberately because it benefits them. It buys them time from an eventual conflict over Taiwan. Maybe there's some truth to this, but I don't buy it. I don't believe it. I think China would like to see this war wrap up and get back to some stability. That's my belief, but I could be wrong. Anyway, that's what this article says. But a lot of people are talking about a part of this article which claims that Russia is indeed that China is indeed helping Russia in this conflict. And the article says, it's buried away in this article, that some NATO intelligence assessments even suggest that Chinese ammunition may be routed to Russia via North Korea. Some NATO intelligence suggests. Yeah, okay. And so what? So what if some Chinese weapons are being routed to Russia? So what? So what? Ukraine has 45 countries that are all of NATO, all of the collective West, has been pumping weapons and money into the Zelensky regime and Project Ukraine. Big deal if China is sending some weapons to Russia. But notice how they say it's NATO intel. Because NATO wants money. They want money so that they can shift their focus from Project Ukraine, which I believe Rutte understands has been lost. Even Rutte understands that Project Ukraine is lost, but he's now banking on Project Taiwan. And so they're slowly, or maybe quickly, trying to shift to China. So let's get some money into NATO and shift over to China. Of course, the narrative is that NATO is going to take on China and Russia. So NATO needs money in order to take on China. The North Atlantic, right, NATO, the North Atlantic organization needs money to take on China. But at the same time, Xi Jinping is going to give orders to Putin to attack Europe in order to split up NATO, in order to extend NATO. Basically, what they're trying to do to Russia and what they're trying to do to China, which is to try and extend them by creating multiple fronts, whether it's Ukraine, whether it's Iran, whether it's Taiwan, whether it's Georgia or Armenia or Moldova or whatever. They're projecting it onto China and Russia. They're saying that the plan is for China to invade Taiwan, and what Xi Jinping is going to order Putin to do is to invade Europe in order to break up NATO. What Taiwan? What business is Taiwan to NATO? Good question. What business is China to NATO? Don't know. Don't know. But anyway, that's what the article is saying. The article is saying that Xi is doing this deliberately, and it also says that NATO intel claims of Chinese weapons funneled through North Korea to Russia, right? Anyway, I guess it goes right back around to what Lindsey Graham was saying, huh? China, India, Brazil, stop helping Russia, or else we're going to place tariffs on you. So let's do a clown world and we'll wrap up this video. And today's Clown World is courtesy of Bojo, Boris Johnson, who is sad that the Brits are losing interest in Ukraine. The appetite in the UK for supporting Kiev is waning, Boris Johnson has said. Let me read you what Boris Johnson was saying. He was at the Ukraine embassy in London. What is he doing at that embassy? He probably lives there. He probably has a room at the Ukraine embassy in London. But anyway, the Telegraph asked him a question about Project Ukraine. Former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has said he is quite sad about what he describes as waning interest in the UK in supporting Ukraine. Speaking to the Telegraph at the Ukraine embassy in London on Sunday, he lamented that support for Ukraine in the UK is declining. The interest in Ukraine and the appetite is so low nowadays, I find it quite sad, Johnson said. When asked to evaluate how well current Prime Minister Keir Starmer's administration had handled the Ukraine conflict, he responded, there are a lot of domestic issues that are very difficult right now, and you can see why they're distracted. So Boris Johnson is sad that UK money is, or that the UK public is not supporting money going to Project Ukraine. Keir Starmer is still sending a boatload of money to Project Ukraine, right? But citizens don't like it. UK citizens don't like it, and this makes Boris Johnson sad. Bojo the clown. He's a sad clown. He's a sad clown, everybody. What else? One more topic, one more mini clown world, and we can wrap this video up. Yeah, we can wrap this thing up. Netanyahu got a stomach virus, got food poisoning, and so another court date has been canceled. Go figure. Unbelievable, huh? Unfreaking believable. So he's either, last week he bombed Syria, he bombed Damascus, so that's what caused a delay in the court hearing, and now he got food poisoning. Doctors came to his home and they said that he ate spoiled food. That's what they said. He ate some spoiled food and he got food poisoning, and so the court case against him will have to be delayed until, I believe it said, until September. Nonsense, man. Absolute nonsense. By the way, Axios has a report claiming that the Trump White House, or Trump aides, believe that Netanyahu is losing his mind. I think they called him a madman. That's what I want to say, but I forgot the title of the Axios article. I'll put it up on the screen. Anyway, this is not Trump. These are some Trump aides, people familiar with the matter, according to Axios, and they're very upset with Netanyahu because he continues to bomb Damascus, right? Even after the U.S., the imaginary U.S. ceasefire that Al-Jilani praised America for. I believe Al-Jilani, did he nominate Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize? I don't know. But the bizarro Zelensky of Syria, he praised the Trump administration for a ceasefire that allegedly was brokered a couple of days ago, and Israel is not stopping in their bombing of Damascus. They claim that they're bombing Damascus in order to protect the Druze community. But what's really going on is this complicated dance between Erdogan and Netanyahu, this cooperation and this smoke and mirrors dance that Erdogan and Netanyahu are performing, where they are creating the illusion of some sort of Jelani Turkey smash with Israel, but what they're really doing is just setting out their parts of Syria that they will control. They're dividing up Syria between them. Anyway, that is the video, everybody. TheDuran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, X, and go to the Duran shop. Pick up some merch like this hoodie, like this Duran t-shirt, and there's a link in the description box down below. I believe we have some coupons running as well, so if you go to the Duran shop, you'll get some free shipping, you'll get some coupons. We got some good deals going on. I will see everybody tomorrow. Take care.